Alrighty, y'all, it is Saturday, September the 27th. You ready to deconstruct from the death cult with us? Alrighty, my darlings, I owe you an episode, and here it is. I've got some notes, but we're kind of freeballing it a little bit today as someone who deconstructed from this death cult, and yes, everyone just got to see that that is exactly what it is. I wanted to expand on that a little bit because we've been trying to warn y'all, those of us who have stepped away and said, hey, the reason they're so awful, aside from it being a criminal cult and a narcissistic cult, and there's a reason that everyone you know that's awful is over there wrapped in flags and crosses, screeching that it's just their faith and their belief. And darling, here comes the regular disclaimer, okay? We're not talking about that nice couple over there that has their beliefs and faiths and keeps to themselves. That is fine. We're not talking about them. We are talking about the people that are a member of the death cult. And if you're not sure who that is, that was anyone who thought that they were leaving. I'm sorry. That was anyone who was looking forward to getting sucked up into the sky. That was anyone telling other people to get ready for that. And here's what I need you to understand. You just watched millions of people admit that they don't want to be here. And I need you to connect that the people who all uniformly admitted that they don't want to be here and they can't wait to get sucked up are the ones running the show right now. Okay, those are the ones pulling the strings. Those are the people running for seats at the school board and seats at your city council. People who do not want to be here and are doing everything they can to inflict the ick they feel internally on those around them, especially those who don't live like them or look like them. Okay, if you notice, their entire culture is what? Harm, hate, anger, fear. Right? Spreading disease. They're arguing over hygiene. All right. They're arguing over vaccines. They're arguing over things. They happily put their own offspring at risk. Happily. And then oh, well, it's Sky Daddy. If Sky Daddy sees fit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, these are people that don't want to protect their own offspring because it's just the will of the deity if he wants to take them away from a entirely preventable disease. It's not funny. It's not funny. I just need to point this out because these are the people running around screaming that everyone else is violent and everyone else's position is why they need to be violent. Notice the projection there. These are people who stand for toxic relationships and SA. These are people who believe in protecting the guilty. And projecting onto that small corner of the overall population. Oh, look, there's 1% of the people are T people. Let's blame them for all our problems. Oh, look, it's gay people. That's the reason for all of our problems. Okay, and we can talk about how most of them are in the closet or DL, and this fixation they have is, again, just projection because they have chosen not to act on their own internal feelings. They've chosen to ignore it. They've chosen, which is why they use that language, right? Oh, you're choosing this lifestyle. Every single one of them who says it is telling on themselves. If they believe it's a choice, it is because they themselves have made a daily decision to not act on what they are actually into, who they are actually into, for whatever reason. Okay? It doesn't matter what the reason is. All right? Everything they do is projection. Everything they do is projection. And we've been trying to tell y'all for a while now. It's out there in the open. Don't lose sight of that. Do not let them crawl back into caves. Do not let them hide back in their pews and pretend like this wasn't them. These are people who don't want to be here. And if you really paid attention to how they live their lives and how they treat other people, you would catch that and go, oh, okay, yeah, I do see it. I see it. Good. Stop letting people who don't want to be here make the decisions, okay? Because all they're trying to do is end it for all of us. Those aren't the people that should be driving the bus. Those aren't the people you should be supporting. So you need to let go of the fallacy of, oh, my cross means I'm a good person. See, I'm of faith. That means you can trust me. Anyone who needs flags and crosses and symbols so that you trust them is someone you should not trust. I'll say it again. Anyone who needs to go, hey, you should trust me because of my faith, is someone you should run screaming from. There's a reason they want to just hand you a pass instead of proving it with their actions. There's a reason they want you to just believe it because they showed you a cross instead of paying attention to what really is going on and what they truly believe in. Again, we're calling out people who say he was a good man. He was a good man. He was a God-fearing man. I didn't agree with everything he said. Well, what did you agree with? Can you say it? You can't say it, can you? You're just going to say not everything because everything was bad. Everything was bad. And you agree with all of it. You're admitting it, and then you're gaslighting yourself and everyone else so that you don't get any repercussions for it. We're done with that. Okay, we talked about that with the dentist, the dudes that went to the college campus, all of this stuff where they act horribly, proudly, publicly, the people that wear the merch, that cover their house and their car in it. And then when you point and say, hey, ZZ, they go, oh, you can't do that. I'm calling the police. She called me a ZZ just because I am. She can't do that. Keep making them uncomfortable. See, that's all it takes to make them uncomfortable. That's all it takes. Just call them what they are. They lose their shit. Just point and laugh. They lose their shit. Just do this. They lose their shit. It does not take much. And these are the people that y'all are afraid of. The only reason they're so loud and bold about how awful they are is because society has tolerated them. We've bought into the scam of, oh no, these are actually good people. They said that means they must be good. So everyone tolerates it. And what has the tolerance gotten? What has the tolerance gotten? Let me tell you something. If you go into any store, Walmart, whatever, there is an aisle of shit for them in there. And that's still not enough. Anywhere you go, there is something there for them. There's bibbles, there's crosses, there's something for them. Anywhere you go, if they see something that they don't like, they're complaining and whining because it's an affront to the system that they don't even really truly believe in, that they don't even really practice. They want everyone else to practice the rules that they don't believe in because they're criminals inside and narcissists. Okay, it's all about control and telling other people what to do. If you haven't figured that part out either. Their shit is everywhere and it's never enough. They're in control of everything right now. And what are they doing? Blaming everyone else, blaming people who have no power. Okay. One of their own takes out one of their own and they're going, go after the blacks. One of their own takes after one of their own and they go after everyone who's a political opponent. Okay, they take the shit that they do to themselves and say, this is why we have to go over people we don't like. We have to go after people we don't like because of this thing we did to ourselves. All right, and the whole fallacy of them being the strong builders of civilization. Look, we told you the unwashed people in the woods failed. They went on TV, they went on newspapers, magazines. They were being touted by the house that is white. Oh, we're having our whites only. We're discriminating. We're not letting anybody in. We're returning to the homeland. This is important for us. We're the builders of civilization. The builders of civilization had to leave their unwashed people in the woods town because they couldn't even build a shed. They couldn't even build protection for themselves. They were living in tents. They had to give up. Okay? They had to give up. I'm going to keep saying that. These builders of civilization couldn't use modern technology in the woods of Arkansas to protect themselves and build sheds. Unable to do it. Unable to do it. Those are the people telling you that they're the winners of history. They're the people who brought civilization. Have you figured out that that's a lie? Unless by civilization they mean firearms and disease. I mean that, yeah, lots of that. That and their patriarchal faith that just uplifts the worst people and gives criminals a free pass to continue criminaling while good people have to fight every day of their lives against them. This has been throughout history. Okay, throughout history. It's 2025. Are we done yet? Are the rest of us ready to deconstruct from the death cult? Because this is where we are. This is where they've brought us, to the brink of apocalypse, to the brink of the end of the country, to the brink of the end of an era where we are handing off our place to other people because these folks worship the end times and money and billionaires and corporations over lives. Human lives don't matter to them. They just tell themselves that the people they don't like don't count as human. They're demons, they're animals, they're monsters, so it's okay. Again, more projection. More projection. Everyone else is the demon and the monster and the problem. So start seeing it like that. Start watching everything that they say. And realize that it's always a projection, especially the ones that want power, especially the ones running for local seats, especially the ones wearing crosses this big, sitting in their cars going, we're doing this for Jeebus. No, they're not. And every time they say that, that's blasphemy. That's taking the Lord's name in vain. Every time they say, I'm doing this awful thing because of my faith and because Sky Daddy wants it, that is taking the Lord's name in vain. They do it all the time. Okay, just like that thing where they don't like rainbow people. That's not what's in the book. The book says diddling, people who diddle little ones. But since that's what they do as a society, as a culture, they flipped and go, well, rainbow people. Okay, they will protect a diddler and then go after someone that reads in drag. Okay? So let me know when y'all are ready to leave and also deconstruct from the death cult.